Let's chat Atlanta Falcons right now here. Vic Beasley, a potential reunion. I don't know about this one. Look, his best years came with the Falcons because his worst year ever came last year with both the Titans and the Raiders because Beasley was just a head case for Tennessee. On one hand, I get it. Like, it does fill a need. Pass rusher remains a significant area of concern for the Atlanta Falcons. I also don't know if a reunion really is in the best interest because Beasley this past year, in 10 games, mind you, with two different teams, he sucked. I'm sorry. 4 tackles. Granted, one was for loss, but 4 after getting a bag from the Titans and then got cut? Yikes. Big yikes right there across the board. 2019, I will make note, was better for Vic Beasley. Like with the Falcons, of course, a different defensive scheme in place. From that perspective, adding a buy low talent, I don't hate it because I look at this Falcons depth chart at the edge rusher spot. Guys, it is so thin. Dante Fowler got paid and was not good last year. There's Steven Means and John Kaminsky, who was a former mid-round pick, inside-outside flexibility. Steven Means as well, I mentioned. Barkevius Mingo. Jonathan Bullard. It's not good. So, if you could promise me 2019 Vic Beasley on the cheap, okay, I can have that conversation. I don't think I'm going to get 2019 or 2018 Vic Beasley. His sack numbers are always a bit higher than the actual production rate, but I don't trust Vic Beasley. So if I'm Atlanta, I want more edge rush help. I'm going to look draft first and then other free agency options after that because I just do not trust Vic Beasley to come in and be a reliable option. I think in reality, at this stage for both parties, probably in the best interest to simply move on and say, you know what, we had a good short run, but Vic, you want to go somewhere else, and Atlanta should also be looking in a different direction altogether. Let's talk Falcons trade possibilities now here on Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. The Falcons have had some exploratory talks, as what was termed by Albert Breer in his report on Monday morning, about a potential trade down with NFL teams. Now, this makes a lot of sense if the Falcons don't want a quarterback. And for Atlanta in general here, this is the biggest decision so far of this new regime. This is their opportunity to make a call of, hey, what are we going to do? Now, I will make note the Carolina Panthers have already made a significant move. They have, gone out and added Sam Darnold. That takes them, out of the trade conversation, which they were never going to make a move with the Falcons anyway, because individual trades don't happen like that, especially for a quarterback. But the Falcons at number 4 now have a lot of power in the NFL draft. Jags, Jets, Niners are going quarterback 1, 2, 3. That means the Falcons will have their choice of a non-quarterback, the 4th quarterback, or maybe 2nd or 3rd on their own board, or trading down. So Atlanta is in a pretty fun spot to be for an NFL draft. Now, Panthers aren't going to trade up. Denver might at 9. Could a team like the Patriots get super aggressive? It's possible. But the Falcons have flexibility to go quarterback, playmaker of some type, or trade down altogether. So let me know, Falcons fans, what you guys would do with the number 4 overall pick. Type T for trade it or type in K for keep it. Get your votes in for me in the comment section. What would you do with that pick? T for trade, K for keep. Now, in the event that you keep it, the Falcons have options here. They can go with either 2 quarterbacks in Trey Lance or Justin Fields, or they can go Kyle Pitts or Penei Sewell. There are options here for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this One of those first two quarterbacks might be off the board here because you might see the Niners take Mac Jones or Lance or Fields, so there is some flexibility there. So if they want a quarterback, there will be one there who I think is really good. But they also agreed to Matt Ryan's deal. He can still play. Maybe they want to try and win right now. If they want to win right now and keep that number 4 pick, I don't view any of the defensive options as being good enough. So 2 offensive guys here, Kyle Pitts or Penei Sewell. I love Sewell, the offensive lineman, and he's my better player of those 2. I think I'm different in that regard, though. However, Arthur Smith is a tight end guy. He loves tight ends, wants to use multiple, and an offense consisting of Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts is incredible. So I would not be surprised if the Falcons stood pat at 4 and took Pitts out of Florida. Now, if they want to move down, I got 5 teams, going up for a quarterback, mind you, who could make some sense. The Lions have been linked in some trade up and trade downs, probably the least likely of this group here, but I wanted to make a note since they have plenty of draft capital. Panthers cross them off the list here, of course. The Denver Broncos could get super aggressive if they want a Fields or a Lance, move up from number 9. New England is a team to watch out for. It's expensive to go from 15 to 4, but they got the draft capital, and they need a quarterback badly. It's tough to see Washington and Chicago getting all the way from 20-ish to 4. If the Falcons really want to move down and get, just a massive haul of draft capital, a trade with Chicago or Washington would get them multiple picks this year and multiple picks in the future. So from that perspective, Atlanta could be a fit to trade down. I do wonder in the end what the Falcons are going to do. There's a lot of uncertainty there at number 4. It's quarterback 1, quarterback 2, quarterback 3. We'll see which one for San Francisco. But the Falcons there, with that number 4 overall pick, have a lot of power, a lot of flexibility in terms of what path they're going to be able to pursue in the 2021 NFL Draft. Some quick training camp notes I wanted to dive into here coming over from our good friend Peter King. And this is interesting to me. He reports the NFL is looking to make the start of training camp into a key event for the league. Remember, you have the NFL Draft, right, in late April. The Scouting Combine in February. NFL free agency in March. All the months have something big there. Not so much when we get to July. So the NFL is at least considering taking this approach. If you guys are familiar with the whole Midnight Madness thing for college basketball, when all the scrimmages and practices all get going, right? The NFL is considering doing something similar, where they would be able to have 28 teams start camp on July 27th, which is an interesting pitch for the NFL. Now, of the 4 teams who would not do it, you're thinking the 2 teams who are going to play on the Hall of Fame game and the 2 teams playing in the Thursday Night Opener, so the ones who actually play games earlier get a slightly earlier start. But this is worth monitoring. Now, the flip side here is that it's just the start of practice. So I don't think the NFL would be able to spin it into a whole massive event. However, with the backing of NFL Network, I'm sure ESPN would get on board. You might be able to make it a media creation, which point, you know what? At least we have football back at that point. So I am very curious to see what the path is here for the NFL. But keep an eye out for this move coming probably after the draft officially. NFL camps get going on July 27th, and then they make some major, trying to make it, I should say, a fairly giant NFL-focused training camp, Midnight Madness type of move. So we'll see if that actually ends up happening, but keep an eye on it for in the not-too-distant future.